You have a great camera, Sony ZV E10, but you've been using it wrong from the day one. Yes, this image is shot with ZV E10, and if you want to achieve the same quality, you need to master exposure and use the right picture profile. I will show you how to achieve the best image possible all the time by having the perfect exposure for indoor videos and talking head videos. And also discover what's the best picture profile for this kind of shot. If you have your image exposed properly, you will obtain the best image possible, and this will also help you with the color grading because you don't have to do too much. To a properly exposed image, you only need to make small and easy improvements in post-production and it will look amazing. But to learn how to apply the best and easiest method to achieve perfect exposure, you must first choose the right picture profile. We see everywhere creators talking about S-Log3, S-Log2, S-Cineton and other picture profiles. All of them are great picture profiles if are used right at the right moment, and the exposure might differ from one to another. For talking head videos, studio videos like this one with controlled lights, you can achieve incredible images in the easiest way possible. Turn off the picture profile. I'm often asked in the comment section, what picture profile do you use? And my answer is the same every time. With Sony ZV E10, I don't use a picture profile. This camera records 8-bit footage. I also use my Sony a7S III when I shoot for my clients and I need to do advanced color grading or the environment requires high dynamic range and many adjustments in post. But when I shoot here in the studio where I have a perfectly controlled light, the difference will be almost non-existent. Of course, if we compare 8-bit footage with 10-bit footage, the difference when it comes to what we can do to the footage will be big. But just for this shot, we don't need more. Now, when we use something like S-Log2 or S-Cineton with 8-bit footage, it can help in some situations when we want to do more with the footage. The question is, do you need to complicate things when you have controlled lights? We want to create videos to deliver value, to deliver a message, and to teach other people valuable things. So we don't want to complicate the creation process for no reason. So my advice for talking head videos is this. Don't worry about the picture profile and keep it off with this camera. All my videos are made with picture profile turned off and people like that. If you want to do something to improve the image, learn how to do basic color grading and you're good to go. Let me know if you want me to make a video and show you how I color grade my talking head videos. Why not? That can be an interesting video. So first thing, turn off the picture profile. Press the FN button, go to the picture profile and turn it off. Now let's find out how to properly expose the image. There are many methods to check if your image is properly exposed. You can use the histogram or false color if you have an external monitor. All these are great features. What I recommend with this camera is Zebra. This feature will help you have the perfect exposure if you learn how to use it. It's easy and I will show you right now. First, we need to set it right. Go into the menu, menu number 2, submenu number 7, and here we can see Zebra. Turn it on and go back to set it right. Let's understand how it works. You can see here some values from 70 up to 100 plus and 2 custom ones. Let's see first the Zebra at 100. Now, where you see these lines on the screen, that means that this area is exposed at 100, which is burnt out. We don't want that and need to stay away from this value. What I do is go to C2 and set it to 95 plus. Now, I will increase my exposure, increasing the light power, or if my lights are at 100% and I need more, I will increase the ISO. And when I see something burnt out, reaching 95 plus, I will stop increasing and go back a little bit to avoid having areas burned out. But when we are in the shot for talking head videos, our main focus is on us, on our skin. When you do talking head videos, the exposure should be perfect for the face. Our skin should be exposed at 70. Of course, this is not an exact science and we can't expose the entire face perfectly at 70, but I try to be there and not go over 70. What I do is go to C1 and set this one at 70. Now, with the zebra set at 70, it will show the areas exposed at 70 where your skin should be. So I will increase the light if it's necessary, or decrease it, or increase the ISO or decrease it until I see those lines on the screen. It can't be equal, but when I see a big portion with those lines, that means the exposure is correct. Most of the time I expose like this to have the skin properly exposed. After I don't change anything, change the zebra to 95 plus and check if I have any areas burned out in the background. If something is burned out, I try to lower the background light and change the things in the background to avoid clipping, but keep the skin at 70. And right now, when I check the zebra at 70, the skin is properly exposed. And when I check at 95 plus, nothing is burned out. And this is what the image looks like. I prefer to have the image a little bit underexposed than to have overexposed areas. But this is not all. To have a clean image, you need to understand the best method to increase or decrease the exposure. Let me explain. And first, if you find this video useful, don't forget to press the like button and maybe subscribe. Thank you. Many settings influence the exposure. What I do is to keep the ISO as low as possible. With this camera, I keep it at 100. When the ISO value is higher, the image will be brighter, but noise will be introduced on the image. Because I shoot in 24 FPS, I keep the shutter speed double at 48, but because we don't have 48 with this camera, I keep it at 50. The aperture is something that depends on the lens. If you have a fast 1.4 or 2.8 lens, it will be great. At 1.4 with my Sigma 16mm f1.4, for example, the image will be brighter and it will have more blur in the background. But if you have the kit lens with a minimum of 3.5, set it at 3.5. Most of the time for talking head videos, creators use the lens wide open, but this is also a matter of taste. So I have the ISO at 100, shutter speed at 50 and aperture at 1.4. Set zebra at 70 and see if the skin is exposed correctly. If it's underexposed, first I will try to increase the light to achieve proper exposure. If I don't have powerful enough light, I will increase the ISO step by step until I reach the perfect exposure. But first, I will always try to increase the light power. If you have the ISO as low as possible and the exposure is right, the image will look perfectly clean and the exposure will be perfect using this method. And if you shoot like this, it will also be easy to make a few adjustments when color grade just to improve the image a little bit according to your taste, of course. But you can set the exposure perfectly and still have problems when you shoot talking head videos because these are not the only settings you need to take care of. I have here a dedicated video where I show you the next important step you need to take care of to achieve the greatest image when you shoot your valuable content.